Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 3 of S3H Slim, Sexy, Strong, and Healthy. And this week, we're going to be working on emotional healing. Now, I understand that when we go to this topic, most people are terrified. We don't want to go back and revisit those times in our lives when we've been hurt, we've been betrayed. We don't want to bring up anger, those old hurts, and all of that. What we need to understand about emotional healing is that on the other side is your freedom. When we have stuck emotions, it causes us to hold on. And if I ask you the question, what is the payoff for being overweight? I'm sure if I'm sitting in front of you, somebody's going to throw something at me. But the payoff is subtle. For example, protection. The body will put on layers of fat. If you've been really hurt before, and if you're a human being, you've been hurt before, right? So it depends on how bad that hurt was. If you've been intensely betrayed, somebody that you loved hurt you very much, you will put on these layers of fat as protection to create some distance between us and the world, right? So that is the payoff in a very subtle way, but there it is. If we have, for example, we don't want to let go. Somebody's hurt us and we say, I can't forgive them. Look at what they did to me. That is not wanting to let go. It's holding on to that event and saying, you did this to me and I'm going to hold this over you. In that case, you will find we're holding on weight on the arms. When it's protection, we're holding on weight in the middle. So we have that fear. Emotional eating, for example, when you're lonely, when you're feeling depressed, when you're sad, when you're irritated. And instead of sitting there and dealing with that pain, we distract ourselves by finding something to eat. Could it be that you're not letting the good stuff in? If you recall in week 1, we had the baby picture and we were focusing on self-love and understanding that this baby was born completely worthy. But as we go through life and we have these experiences and we've had failure, we've had rejection, we've had the hurt, with all of those things happening, we lose that sense of I'm completely lovable and I'm completely worthy, right? So we need to start looking at this and saying, can I now go there just for a moment so that I can identify where the hurt is and then release it? Because as I release this pain, I also give my body permission to release the excess weight. Could it be that we're feeling disconnected? When we feel disconnected from our source or disconnected from our families, from the people that we love, relationships that didn't work out, the disconnection happens. Are we using food? So we're feeling the sense of emptiness, something's missing, and then we look at food. So that is not a physical hunger, it is an emotional hunger. And we need to ask ourselves, is this emptiness that I'm feeling, is it actual hunger for food, or is it hunger for love, for connection, for companionship, for happiness, for joy, for peace? What is this hunger for? So now my question is, what are you feeding the field? This field that I talk about is an electromagnetic field that can be measured and it can even be photographed. There's something called Kirlian photography where they take a picture of you and that picture will show you what's in the field. So when we're feeling emotions like anger, you'll actually see lots of red patches in this field. When we're feeling very sad and depressed, you'll see there's lots of brown in this field. So this field is a very real thing if it can be photographed and you can actually see the field, right? So the field is based on the electromagnetic frequency that we put out. And this frequency is determined by your thoughts, your emotions. It's your choices in life, your beliefs, where you choose to put your attention. That is what is feeding the field. So, for example, when you look at yourself in the mirror, what are you feeding the field? Are you looking there and saying, hey, you're awesome? Or are you looking there and saying, that tummy doesn't look right? No, maybe the chin or maybe the arms, or I need to sort this out. When we start to look at that and we body shaming ourselves, we judging ourselves, and in the moment that we judge, whether it is ourselves or other people, it doesn't matter, you're feeling that feeling of judgment, right? When we feel that, immediately it prevents love. So how often do you complain? Sometimes, we're just complaining about things that we can't change. We're complaining about the traffic. We complain about the weather. We complain about the country, the economics, and we're complaining constantly about all of these things. And what are you feeding the field in that time? Or when you're feeling angry or frustrated or anxious or fearful, when we feel those real low-level emotions of guilt and shame, or we blaming other people, you make me angry because you're doing this, we're blaming. So let's look at this scale, this frequency of emotions, right? So the emotional scale right at the bottom has got emotions like shame, guilt and blame is the same frequency. You can see that measures at about 20 hertz, whereas an emotion like love measures at 500 hertz. Now, when we're feeling those lower emotions at the bottom end of the scale, we're sad, we're depressed, we feeling fear, those kind of emotions, what it does is it contracts the field. So this field is now very close to your body. And that means that when you're in somebody's presence, I want you to think about this for a moment. If you're in the presence of somebody that is constantly complaining, that is, feeling sad and depressed all the time, when you're in their presence, you'll notice that after a few minutes, you start feeling drained, you start feeling tired. It's because in that time, they are actually pulling out of your field. They're draining you energetically. But when you're in the presence of somebody that is very passionate about life, someone that is happy and joyful, or someone that is very loving and enthusiastic, you find that in their presence, you feel elevated, inspired, more alive. It's because their field is so wide and so strong that you're actually uplifted in that time that you spend with them. So I'm guessing you want to be that person that's on the top end of the scale rather than the person that's on the bottom end of the scale, right? And for us to do that, we need to go to some of those emotions we're feeling on the bottom end and be willing to release that. So any change begins when we say, I am willing. And if you look at this scale, you'll see that willingness is the emotion that is one above neutral. By the way, humanity as a whole is vibrating at about 220 hertz. So you can see we're more on the negative side than the positive side, right? But as an individual, at any point, we can make the decision as to where we want to be on the scale. Because the more people that are on the higher end of the scale, you're actually now being of service to the planet, where you're uplifting humanity as a whole. So if you're choosing to be at willingness, I'm willing to give this program a chance. I don't know exactly how affirmations work, but I'm willing to give it a try. I don't know how the reprogramming of the brain actually works, but I will sit down and listen to this goal weight visualization for 6 minutes because I know somehow it's shifting the programming. Okay, be willing to sit with these emotions and shift it today. So let's start by looking at where you are in terms of the emotional eating. Do you recognize patterns of sabotage? So You get on some program, you start losing weight, you start feeling really good about yourself. And then suddenly, you get invited to a dinner or a party somewhere, and you go and you have that one meal, and that cheat meal becomes 3 days or 5 days, or you just don't get back on the program and you put all that weight back again. That is a sure sign that the cause is an emotional one and it's not just physical, right? So the emotion is still there. So it's saying, no, 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 we can't lose this weight. We need it for protection. So we need to get it back, right? Do you have comfort food when you are sick? Again, our energies are low, the resistance is low. So what do? We go for comfort foods. Comfort foods are like the mac and cheese, the junk food, the chips, the easy things. We have the chocolate bar stashed in the handbag. So do we use food as a treat? Because it's not just when our energies are low, but sometimes when it's high, when it's a celebration. We have been conditioned in society that whether it is a birth, whether it is an engagement, a graduation party, a wedding, a funeral, whatever event where people get together, it's always that and food. So we've conditioned ourselves that that is how it has to be. We go to movies and then we automatically associate that with popcorn and Coke. That goes with movies, right? So we have these associations. We need to look at that and say, how have I associated the events in my life? So is it emotional? I feel happy, I go to food. I feel sad, I go to food. What are those emotions that I've linked to food? Because some people, when they're feeling sad or depressed, they stop eating. So in their case, it's that positive emotion that they've attached to food as a treat or a reward. Do you eat unhealthy food when you're alone? This is a sure sign of emotional eating. So I'm not really hungry, but I'm alone and I'm bored. I don't want to feel this. So I'm going to go and get that packet of chips that I'm going to eat in this time. Do you get junk food when you're tired or depressed? Or, do you stress eat? Sometimes there's people like they're stressed and they're anxious. So, it's just, I just want to just keep eating. Do other people control how you feel? Do you often say, you make me so angry, or this person irritates me, or that one annoys me? When we give that control to other people, we give them our power. That means they decide how we feel, how we think, how we act. So when we live our lives as a reactor, that means we're living our lives outside in. So somebody else does something or something happens on the outside and it determines how we feel or how we behave. Let's start moving from reactor to creator, because when you realize that I have the ability to live my life inside out, that means I get to decide how I think, which will determine how I feel, which will determine my actions, which will then determine the results we get on the outside. That way, you're creating all of it on the inside first, and then that is manifesting as your outer reality. Let's switch this for a minute, right, and talk about relationships. Let's say you had a relationship of mutual love, of absolute support, a relationship of honesty and loyalty. There was mutual respect. You acknowledged each other. You appreciated each other. There's kindness. You had common goals. You had healthy, open communication. You're able to resolve conflict. I'm guessing you're thinking this is an awesome relationship, right? So now let's switch back and ask, what is our relationship with food? A lot of the time when we start a program like S3H, I hear people say, oh, I don't do emotional eating. I just love food. What if I don't have a problem and I just love food? I'm going to challenge you a bit now to question that thinking, because mutual love means both people benefit. Mutual support means both people benefit, right? But if you loved food and that food loved you back, then it would nourish your body and energize you. But if you loved junk food, that junk food is not loving you back. It is damaging your body. It's hurting you. So that to me is a love-hate relationship, right? The support is not mutual. If you're that person that's eating the junk food on the quiet where nobody else is around, where's the honesty in that? Where's the openness? If your goal is to become slim, sexy, strong, and healthy, and the food is not supporting you to achieve that goal, then your goals are conflicting with each other, right? So look at a healthy relationship and then look at the relationship you have with food and ask yourself, is this a healthy relationship, or am I being driven by emotional hunger? Is there this emptiness, this void that I'm trying to fill with food? Is there something I'm trying to suppress, or is there something that I'm trying to fulfill and I'm using food to do it? So now we're going to go to find the source of emotional eating. So in the first session, I showed you the conscious and subconscious minds. And it looked like this iceberg, right? With that 10% above the water and the 90% below the water. So that 10% is your conscious mind. And when we try to use our conscious mind to find the root cause of anything, it's a really long, difficult process because you're using that tiny bit of your mind and you're trying to figure it all out. You're trying to think and analyze and figure out the source of it. When we go into the subconscious mind, your subconscious mind remembers every conversation you've ever had, every person, every experience, everything that's ever happened from the moment you were born to today is stored in your subconscious mind. So for me, if you want to find the source of this emotional eating and you want to do it now rather than a whole long process, let's go to the subconscious mind. Let's tap in there where all the answers are already lying in wait for us, right? So the way we do this is we relax the physical body. So when we do that, and this again can be measured by looking at brain waves. So the way we're talking to each other now is the mind is in that beta mode. But when we start to relax the body, we slip into this alpha state, which means that we can more easily access the subconscious mind, right? So I'm going to talk you through this process where we're going to go and find the source of emotional eating. So sit back in your chair, be very comfortable, uncross your arms and legs so we keep the energy flowing freely. Take a deep breath and close your eyes. Just feel a sense of relaxation starting at the top of your head. And feel the muscles there begin to relax and let go. And let this warm sense of relaxation move down into the forehead, into the jaw, and just notice if there's any tightness there, let it go. Let this warm sense of relaxation move into the neck and shoulders. This is where we carry our burdens. Just inspect this area. If there's any tightness there, let that go. Let the sense of relaxation move down your arms, all the way down into your fingertips. Take another deep breath into the chest area. And on the out breath, just let go. And let the sense of relaxation move further down into the stomach region, into the hips, and into the thighs, just letting go, relaxing more and more. And let this relaxed feeling move down into your ankles and right down into your feet. Just feeling safe and warm and comfortable. Just letting go. And see yourself sensing the space around you. And feel this energy expanding until it fills the whole room that you're sitting in. Beautiful sense of relaxation. And while you are here, I want you to just simply drift back and observe yourself looking for something to eat, knowing that you are not physically hungry. Searching for something to eat, you're sitting down and you're mindlessly eating this food. And just for a moment now, tune in to the emotion that you are feeling. Don't think it, just allow your body to go there and let the emotion come to you. And see if you can label this emotion. Is it sadness? Is it anxiety? Is it fear? Is it loneliness? What is this emotion? Tune into that emotion. And just for a moment, allow that emotion to become a little stronger. Just be willing to allow it and sit with it. And as this emotion becomes a little bit stronger, want your mind to just drift back to another time when you felt that way, sometime in your past. Something is happening in your life and you're feeling this emotion again. Just notice what is happening. How old are you? Who is there with you? What is happening? And focus on the person that you're having this experience with. What are they doing? What are they saying to you? What is causing you to feel this hurt or this sadness or this anger, this pain or this loneliness? So now that we've identified where this is coming from, just slowly bring yourself back into the room. Feel yourself sitting on your chair. Move your fingers a bit, move your toes, and just slowly open your eyes and come back. So now we've identified that there is an emotion that is causing us to go to food. In order for us to change anything, we have to first acknowledge that it is there. So can we just simply accept that yes, there is an emotion that is a bit uncomfortable? It's sadness, it's depression, it's fear, it's anger, whatever it is. Can we just simply, for now, accept that it is there? When we accept something, we let go of the resistance, because anything you resist will persist. That means if I resist it, I can't really let it go. And sometimes those very painful emotions are the ones we want to resist the most. We don't want to say that, you hurt me so badly that, my life hasn't moved since then, or you've hurt me so badly that I need food to comfort myself or to create these layers of protection. We don't want to actually say that. So I'm saying it's not a permanent thing. It's just for now. When I say just for now, I'm going to acknowledge that these emotions are there, right? When you accept that it is there, knowing that you're in the process of change, we can then start to release those emotions. Can you acknowledge yourself for starting this journey? Can you acknowledge the fact that you're sitting here right now, listening to this and saying, I'm willing to release these emotions? Can you praise yourself? Every time you make a positive choice or you have a healthy meal or you go for a walk, can we give ourselves that acknowledgement? Can you love yourself to health and vitality? The inner well-being means that we become aware of that inner state, and we know when that inner state is not a positive one. Awareness is always the first step to change. If we denies the existence of something, there's no way that we can change it, right? But the moment we are aware of it and we acknowledge it, we can change it. Now, negative emotions simply means that there is a gap between where you are and who you are. The who you are is the person that was born. Remember the picture. This baby is completely worthy, completely lovable. That is who you are. But when we deal with failure, we have the lower self-esteem, we feel that we're not good enough, we're not worthy enough because we have a failed relationship or a failed business, or we lost some money, or all of these negative things that have happened to us. When we look at ourselves as less than perfect because of these things, then there's a gap between where we are and who we really are. And this gap, the indicator, is the negative emotion that we're feeling, right? So we want to close that gap, and we want to get back to that point where we are feeling the sense of worthiness again, the confidence, the love, the purpose, the joy. Because when we're feeling those kind of emotions, oh, that's super sexy, right? And there was a very interesting study done on happiness. So they looked at a whole range of people that are very happy in their lives to see, why are these people so happy all the time? Is it because they're all super rich and they're very successful and they've achieved everything that they wanted in their lives? And surprisingly, the answer is no. The answer is that those people that are the happiest are the people that are making progress in their lives. So if you have a goal and you're making progress, that equals happiness. So if you look at from the time you started S3H to where you are right here, right now, is your thinking different? Are you starting to think more aligned with the goal? Are you starting to consider the food that you're eating more carefully, and are you making healthier choices? Are you starting to move more? Are you drinking more water? If you are doing these things and you're starting to see the scales shift or the centimeters going down, that is progress. So we start to celebrate this progress. That is happiness. And guess what? Happiness hormones reduce your appetite, strengthens your immune system. It promotes digestion. It increases your metabolism. Wow! Why would we not want all of these things? So in order for us to get to that point, we've got to release the stuff that's in the way, right? We've got to say, look, this happened. Yes, somebody hurt me. Somebody betrayed me. This happened. So we're accepting that it happened, but I am now willing to let it go, because it's these things that are weighing me down. Look at those words, weighing me down, right? Excess weight. It's keeping me stuck, not getting to where I want to go. So if you're like this lady that's carrying all of these suitcases of shame and secrets and hurt and resentments and guilt and all of these things that are weighing you down, are you ready now to say, I want to let these things go. I want to travel light. When we forgive, very often people don't want to forgive someone because they say, but look what they did to me. That was wrong. How can I forgive them? We're not saying that their actions were right. We are choosing to forgive the person. because as people, we do the best we can based on our current level of understanding, of education, of skills. Based on that, we make our choices and we act. So if someone doesn't have the level of education or experience or skill set that's needed to treat you better, to be a better partner, or to get their job done in a better way, we're forgiving that person. We're not saying that your action was right. Okay? So when we choose to forgive the person, we're choosing to set ourselves free. And that's a choice we can make quite easily, right? So right now, I want you to think about that person that we identified in the first exercise. So you felt yourself going for this food, eating this food that you're not physically hungry and you were doing it anyway. You identified the emotion, and then you identified the person that was there in that interaction or that event with you, right? So now I'm going to take you through an exercise where we are going to forgive this person. And remember, we said that whatever we do on a subconscious level, your subconscious mind does not know the difference between what is real and what is imagined. And to prove that to you, I want you to just close your eyes for a moment, right? Imagine that you are holding this lemon in your hand. Look at it. See the color of this lemon. Now see yourself taking a knife and cutting this lemon into 4 quarters. Pick up one of the quarters, smell it, look at it, see the texture of this lemon, right? And then take a bite of this lemon. Open your eyes. I'm guessing that when you took a bite of this lemon, in your imagination, that your mouth started watering. Okay, so your body is reacting as though you actually took a bite of the lemon. So you can see from that your subconscious mind does not know the difference between what is real and what is imagined. So when we do this exercise, and in your imagination or in a visualization exercise, you are forgiving and letting go, your subconscious mind believes that you have done it. So you don't need to actually confront anybody in this exercise physically. You do it in a visualization exercise and you watch the shifts happen. I've had lots of people that did an exercise like this and they came back, and within a few days, they'd say, it was so strange, but I ran into this person, or they called me and apologized, or they called me and they're a completely different person. So on that subconscious level, we're all connected. So when you do this exercise, the other person knows something's shifted. They don't know what it is, but they know something's shifted, right? So get comfortable again. Uncross your arms and legs. Take a deep breath and close your eyes. Remember that feeling of total relaxation in your body, starting at the top of your head, just letting go, relaxing completely over the eyes, your jaw, your neck, your shoulders. Feeling the relaxation move down through the chest and the stomach, over your hips, moving into your thighs, over your knees, right into your ankles, right down to the tips of your feet. Just feeling so completely relaxed. I want you to see yourself now standing at the top of a flight of 10 stairs that's going to lead you into the most beautiful garden. Starting from 10 to 9, you feel yourself relaxing more and more. 8, 7, just letting go. 6 and 5, going deeper and deeper. 4 and 3, feeling 10 times more relaxed. 2 and 1, completely relaxed. You step into this garden now and you notice how beautifully green the grass looks. Beautiful trees and flowers. You can even hear the birds chirping. There's a lovely stream that's running through this garden. The water looks crystal clear. It's a beautiful day, and this is your safe place, and you can feel that you are safe and secure in this place. Now, in this garden, you notice that there's somebody that's walking towards you. And as this person comes closer, you recognize them as this person from the first exercise that we did. And you remember the event and that emotion that you want to now release. In your mind, I want you to tell this person about that incident, what happened, how you felt. Just let it all out. Speak freely. Just keep going. Let it all out. You don't want to hold on to this emotion anymore, so keep letting it go. Take a deep breath now. And I want you to say to them, I choose to forgive you. And keep repeating, I forgive you and I let you go. I forgive you and I let you go. I'm choosing to not carry this with me any longer. I'm choosing my freedom. I forgive you and I let you go. I forgive you and I let you go. And I want you to see them becoming smaller and smaller and smaller and moving further and further away from you. I forgive you and I let you go. I release you and I release myself. And they move further and further away, getting smaller and smaller until you can't see them anymore. Take a deep breath and just feel this feeling of release, lightness, emptiness. Take a walk towards the stream. Step into the stream. You can even sit down in the stream and let the water wash over you. And just say to yourself, I am letting this emotion go. I'm letting the person go. I'm letting this emotion go completely. I'm free. I'm choosing my freedom. I'm choosing to be light. And just enjoy this feeling of release. Step out of the water. Feel the warm rays of the sun drying you, healing you. And choose now an emotion to replace that emotion that you have released. Feel a sense of love. Feel a sense of love for yourself, of love for life. And let this feeling of love begin to expand and intensify. And feel it now filling every cell in your body. This beautiful sense of love. Stronger and stronger. Feel your heart expand with this feeling of love. I love myself. I am lovable. I am worthy. I am deserving of this amazing life. I'm deserving of health and well-being. I choose this life of health and vitality. And keeping this beautiful feeling of love with you, walk back to the stairs and start walking up the stairs from 1 to 2 to 3, slowly waking up, 4, 5, 6. Just feel yourself back in the chair, 7, 8. Start moving your fingers and your toes. 9 and 10. Fully awake, back in the room. Open your eyes. Take a deep breath. Doesn't that feel amazing? Now, this journey of emotional healing is not an event, it's a journey. This is one emotion that you tapped into. You went back to that memory and you chose to release the emotion, the experience, the person. And when we do this work of releasing, we're not cutting people out of our lives. We're simply cutting the energetic cord or the bond that keeps them having that power over us, returning to that emotion over and over again, right? So we've chosen now to release that. This is a time for you to go within, to become the creator of your destiny, to own your power, to take full responsibility for yourself, for your life. Become that person who is slim and sexy and strong and vibrantly healthy and energetic. Become that person on the inside and it will manifest on the outside. This is your formula to create anything that you desire. If you can think it and you're thinking it with your affirmations, if you can see it and you're seeing it with your visualization, if you can feel it, that is the frequency of that emotion, like the love that you felt in this exercise. Think it, see it, feel it, and you will manifest it. That is the formula. Think about the frequencies. Ask yourself often, what am I feeling right now? What am I feeding the field? Because if you want to become slim, sexy, strong, and healthy, you have to become that internally first. That is how you create. Add some emotion to your affirmations. Do your goal weight visualization in the morning, in the evening. See yourself completely in your mind and in your body. See yourself internally as this person that has already reached the goal weight, and you will become that on the outside. Next week, you're going to join Kim Knight. She's going to take you on a very exciting journey to help you define and become this brand new, slim, sexy, strong, healthy you. It was wonderful spending this time with you. Thank you very much, everyone. Go well and have a great S3H.